All right, everybody. This is the Digital Craft, the radio show. I feel like I should be talking about this in a very exciting voice because this is an intro with intro music. I should talk about being an underground bunker or being amazing or being at the top of Mount Rushmore or Mount something. But really, we're just going to do a quick break in the music, and then we're going to come in with a subtle, poorly looped track. This is going to get us a little more comfortable towards the topics we're talking about, which is computers, internet, websites, graphic design, programming, music. And this is the start of the show and the end of the intro.
Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about something that is a pretty popular topic among web development, and that is responsive or adaptive images. I've heard other people use other terms for it. Basically, having images, or even just layout in general, but we're talking about images today, but a layout that adapts or responds to the media or medium in which it's presented, as in whether it's on a desktop computer, a laptop, a tablet, iPod, phone, etc. And really what when we're talking about images, we're talking about the ability to not only resize them on the page, but display a resized version, because we don't want to load a full high resolution image on a phone if we don't have to, thus using people's data, which anymore it seems like the unlimited plans are going away again on people's phones, or phone companies, at least around my neck of the woods. We're getting kind of squeezed into this idea of being able to have all your devices on one plan, but getting rid of your unlimited data and paying for the data for those devices, or paying for a certain limit. So it's becoming important again. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. And this was prompted by one of my students who, I can't go into what we're doing, but this person needs to have a layout that can respond to different devices, and they have a lot of images, and we're trying to find a solution for that, for their particular situation. So we've been doing some research, and I'm looking at a couple articles and such. I've found some solutions that people have written, and we're going to talk about those. One is HiSource, HISRC, that you can find on GitHub, and I'll post the links to these. Another one is Adaptive Images. I'll post a link to that too. These are both scripts or whatever that will help you resize the images or allow you to use multiple different sizes, and the page knows which image to load. We'll talk about which is better, or the pros and cons of each. But I think these two kind of cover both spectrums. I know there's a handful out there of options, but these cover, I don't know, enough. But before we get into that, I mentioned music in the intro, and I never really talk about music. I just play music, and I wasn't planning on talking about music today until I loaded one of the tracks that I was going to play, or am going to play. And it's a cover that a local band here did, and I wanted to make sure that I was clear on who originally wrote it, which I was right, but I wanted to make sure I was clear, or at least I think I'm right. I could be wrong. I at least know who made it popular if he didn't write it. But then I started reading about this person, and interesting little history. But the track is called Too Poor to Die, and most likely, we'll say, written by Louisiana Red, or Iverson Minter, as he was born, according to the Wikipedia, aka fact. Factopedia. But I was looking into the history and or the biography of him, and his mother died of pneumonia shortly after his birth, it says, and his father was lynched by the Ku Klux Klan when he was 5. So if anybody has the right to do blues and do them well, I think Louisiana Red has a right to do that. But this song, I love it. I love how Pliers does it. That's the band name. More specifically, Cornfed is the one singing on this one. On Pliers, they trade off vocals between Cornfed and Scott. 2 totally different voices, by the way, and we'll play tracks from both of them. But figured I'd chat about that just really quick. Thought it was interesting after I started reading about it. He doesn't have a whole huge. It's interesting. He has a really tiny biography on Wikipedia, but his awards and discography are about as long as any other famous person's biography. So that's pretty interesting too. But and he's linked to people like John Lee Hooker and oh, I thought it said Chubby Checker. I read that wrong. Checkered Records. Anyway, that's enough Factopedia. But I figured I'd play that song, and then we'll start talking about the first solution that I found, the high source. And I'll post those links here in a minute. But this is Too Poor to Die, believed to be written by Louisiana Red. I'm pretty sure. At least best performed, I guess, by Louisiana Red. And this is Pliers' rendition of it.
Last night I had a dream. I dreamed I died. The undertaker came to carry me for the ride. I couldn't afford a coffin. Embalming's kinda high. Jumped up off a deathbed 'cause I'm too poor to die. I was in trouble. Lord, I'll tell you the reason why. I'm just too poor, people. Too poor to go lay down and die. Dreamt I was at the cemetery. I couldn't afford enough to pay the grave diggers to cover me up. It costs a lot of money, 'cause they ain't shooting you mid. I guess before I die, I'd better think again. I was in trouble. Lord, I'll tell you the reason why. I'm just too poor, people. Too poor to go lay down and die. I met the devil. He's waiting at the gate. He said, "Come on in, Cornfed. You ain't been late." Said he lead me to his kingdom, lead me by my arm, but he couldn't move my body 'cause I greased his palm. I was in trouble. Lord, I'll tell you the reason why. Down and die.
And there you have it, Too Poor to Die, performed by Pliers, originally from Louisiana Red, the man who had every right to sing about the blues. Anyway, so we're talking about responsive adaptive images, and the first solution that I found from one of these articles I was reading is the high source, spelled HISRC, source like within an image tag, and there's a reason it's called that. It is a jQuery based plugin, and it looks like it's pretty simple to set up. This method, however, requires you to have more than one version of the image already prepared. And that could be great if you're not loading a ton of content. If you're a magazine or a newspaper or doing a blog that you're putting a lot of media up, a lot of images, this could get pretty tedious. But it still does offer a solution. And what it does is it takes advantage of an attribute that you can use in the image tag. And it's data-1x, data-2x. And you just fill it in with the appropriate image. For example, 1x would have a larger image, and then 2x would have an even larger image, and then the original would have the smallest version. The actual source tag or source attribute would have the smallest image available, the smallest being, what you'd want to load on a mobile phone. And then high source does the work of detecting what medium people are using to view these images, and will load accordingly, and that works. But as I said, that requires you to go into Photoshop, create, or whatever image editing software you're using, and create these images. So there's some tedious work there, but it does give you some control, I guess. And like one example that I read in this article that kind of boosts this one up above the other option as far as a pro, is that sometimes you'll get an undesired effect if it's automatically resizing the images for you. You might end up squishing an image. If you're talking about the smallest size being shown on a phone, it might end up being a square, whereas all the other ones are more rectangular and true to the original image. And this option allows you then to crop and adjust the image to be displayed exactly how you want it. They used, in this article, they used a picture of President Obama shaking someone's hand, and there's some people off to the right in the photo, and instead of just squishing the rectangular image and making it so small that it's kind of illegible, they crop out those people on the right and just show the, for lack of better terms, action area, the area that you want to see. So it does give you that option or that ability, but you do have to create these images yourself. So you decide on that one. But you can find that one over on GitHub. I'll post a link here on the chat first, and then when we're done with the show, I'll post it on the show page or episode page, and maybe even on the Facebook page. But that's, I guess that's really all I can say about that. You kind of see the pro and cons of it, and yeah. So I think this will be a short show today, because I don't. Yeah, that was a really quick deal there. So we'll move on to another song while I talk about the other one. The other one has a little more into it anyway, so we'll talk a little more about that. But and I'm on a time schedule here. I'm supposed to go to the store, so. Anyway, there's another track from Pliers, and to note, all these tracks were actually recorded in my basement before my band room was turned into a entertainment room with the projector and couches, which is now just a dumping ground for office supplies, which you would know about if you're following Facebook today. So band room turned entertainment room turned hoarding facility, but that's where it was recorded, and I mixed and mastered it, which I won't claim that I'm even qualified to do so, but I did because I wanted to, and I did the album art, so it was a fun time. Anyway, this is now Scotty singing and playing guitar. Scotty played guitar on the last one, and Cornfed sang, if you didn't catch that in the lyrics. This one is You Fell. It's a love song that you probably don't want to be on the other end of. So here it is, Pliers, You Fell. Microphone. There we go. That was You Fell by Pliers. And again, recorded in my basement. Good times. Good times. We're talking about adaptive responsive images, or however you want to call it. Fluid, smushable, resizable. I don't know. As long as you get the concept. We talked about High Source just before the break, and I posted a link to that on the episode page, and I'll post that on Facebook here when I'm done. Like I said, this will be a shorter show. I've got errands to run, wife to please, with the errands, that is. So the second thing we're looking at is called adaptive images, or at least I use that term to kind of generalize everything, but this actual application script, whatever you want to call it, is called adaptive images. and you can find it adaptive-images.com. And again, I'll post that link. But this takes a different approach. It doesn't. It uses server-side techniques or technology to resize the images dynamically. This would most likely be the best solution. Now, I mean, between the two that we've looked at, because it's going to, it doesn't require you to make new images or make several different images, the same image several times, different sizes. You do lose that that flexibility that I mentioned before of being able to choose to crop or adjust the image manually. But this will, using PHP and basically it looks like just a PHP file and either I think adding some changing some things in the .htaccess file, you'll be able to use this pretty simply to resize the images on the fly before the page is loaded. And it gives some great examples of this on the page or the website that I'm going to send you to, or send the link to. It shows you, one, you can click on several different images and it'll show you the resolution of the images and the file size that has been generated based on what screen size you would have, and you can resize your browser and watch the image change shape. Not only the image, but the page itself is responsive as well. You can get it down pretty small before it starts collapsing on itself. Actually, this page in general is a really good example of a responsive layout that's done pretty well. Excuse that. Dogs and kids upstairs. But yeah, so this one uses PHP, so you have to have, an Apache server, or it's using the htaccess file, so it's assuming you have an Apache running, and it uses PHP to recreate the image on the fly, which if you didn't know that could be done, it can be done. You can use PHP to create documents that aren't necessarily PHP documents. That's a whole other topic, and I don't even think I worded that right. But yeah, I guess I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I thought I'd have more since I was going to be. Usually I'm going off my own notes, and I can talk for an hour. And this time I'm using other people's pages and get through this really quick. So I'll send the links out and have you guys take a look at them. But just to be clear, I mean, like what we're talking about is being able to resize images either on the fly or load resized images on the fly before eating up bandwidth or data on your phone or mobile device or whatever it is you're using, displaying and sending out the appropriate size content. Not just for, I guess it's not, I should be clear, it's not just for the data usage, but load time as well. If you're loading something on a laptop that's got a much smaller resolution, or like let's say a netbook, but you're using your broadband connection, your data is not really that big of a deal. But loading a bunch of images that are, twice the size of your screen and then resizing them once the page is loaded, you still have to load all those, and it kills the load time. So this also helps make the load time a lot quicker, because you're not loading huge images and having the browser or HTML resize them. You are either loading a resized image that you made, or you're loading a resized image that PHP or the server recreated. There we go. So that's the explanation there. I'm going to be digging more deep into this and probably doing tutorials on this, because this is definitely a growing thing, a very important thing, I think. Being able to design, not just for yourself, design layouts that adapt, but clients are looking for it a lot. It's one of those buzzwords, adaptive, responsive, that you're hearing, kind of like cloud or Web 2.0. You know, it's those terms that clients like to use that you need to be up on. But that's all I got today. I have errands to run, and we have one more song to play. This is from Pliers again with Cornfed singing this time. This is The River, and thank you.